Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Today is the first Monday of November. And so my prayer for you is that this month bring you joy, bring you peace, bring you happiness. And it just brings you everything that your heart desires. And so this past weekend was great. I got a chance to go to Philly, well, outside of Philly, to hang out with my sorority sisters. If you don't know, you will know. I'm a part of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, last created, best design. I make that very clear to other people that are part of other organizations, no shade. But it's special because this year is our centennial year. Centennial means 100 years. So we'll be turning 100 years old on November 12th, 2022. And so I'm excited. And because of this great celebration, I'm going to Indiana to celebrate. And I'll be able to see sorors from all over. And we're going to paint Indiana royal blue and gold. But it was great to fellowship with my chapter sorors. I'm a part of Rho Omicron. That chapter was charted November 16th, 2008 from my line. And my chapter were from Bloomsburg University. And so we don't have sorors on the campus now, which is sad. That's a different story for a different day. But it was great to actually be around my chapter sorority sisters that I haven't seen in some time. And, you know, being around them it's just like we never left. However, during the time that we were apart, life happened to all of us, right? People are losing things, losing their self. Relationships change, marital statuses change. Just life just happened, and it just felt good to be around each other, and it was needed. Like hugs were needed. Like we were, telling people stories about where we're at in life. And the one thing that I said was, I want to say beginning of 2021, I was just not there. I was just stressed and I had a lot on my plate, and managing that also while in the pandemic, working and going to work, putting a smile on my face, and my students see me as this amazing professor, but I was just really hurting inside and just knew that I had to just cut people off. And that was needed. And then juggling things in my house. So I had a lot of stuff going on in my household. And so I told my best friend yesterday that I had to do therapy in my house. And the people that I had to forgive the most were my parents that were in my house. And my house is like the healing house. Like there was a lot of healing done here in 2021. Like a lot of healing. So that's why I'm very mindful of who I let in, right? Who I let in my house. But on Saturday, when I was talking to my sorority sisters, and we were just talking about life, and we just talked about the importance of emotional boundaries. And emotional boundaries mean to protect one's thoughts, their feelings, without them being criticized or invalidated. But most importantly, not worrying or don't have the charge to take care of someone else's feelings. And I think the latter of that definition was so crucial, right? This idea that you don't have to take care of everybody else's feelings. And we talked about that. One of my sorority sisters, she's a therapist. And I said, do you have a therapist? And she said, yes. Because if you're taking on someone else's thoughts and someone else's feelings, I'm telling you, it can really affect you. It can bother you. And even though I am not a therapist, I counsel people all the time. I have a business. People are infuriated just the thought of having a IRS bill. I'm used to it because I have a business. So it's like, okay, I pay this and get it over with. I don't have to worry about it. But that story is not for everybody. Everyone doesn't have that story. And I deal with students, right? I deal with students that may be on the verge of dropping out of law school, or maybe on the verge of getting kicked out of law school, and making sure I had the mental capacity to handle those conversations. One of my colleagues is a therapist that went to Bloomsburg University, and she posted something about the person in the family that's breaking generational curses. And these people that are breaking these curses, they're not raising their hand saying, hey, let me take this charge. It's something that is charged to them. And I believe that I'm one of those, right? And for me, I didn't ask to be the generational curse breaker. Like, I just didn't ask to be this. But I found myself in positions where family confide in me a lot. I don't say anything. I keep everything confidential. I get asked for advice. Older people asking me for advice. Also, family members wanting me to solve their problems or saying, hey, I know you can handle it, right? I'm asking you or I'm telling you because I know that you can handle it. And someone said to me, like, one of my sorority sisters made a comment like, hey, we're all strong. And I made a comment to my sorority sister, like, after we had like this whole like time to just talk. I talked to one of my sorority sisters to the side. I was like, yes, I can handle a lot, but I choose to be soft, right? I can handle a lot. I'm not going to take shit from people. I just learned how to pick and choose my battles. And that comes with being emotionally intelligent, right? And having those boundaries in place. And it got to the point in my life where if someone calls me, I can feel their energy and I can say, you know what? I know that this conversation it's not going to be good. I just know that even though they want my help, and I love to give them help, but I can't do it today. Actually, I can't do it at all. I told my sorority sisters that I'm in a good mental space. I'm happy with the people that's in my life. And I'm actually happy for the people that's not. I'm happy for the people that may have to exit. And I embrace the new people that's coming in. And the one thing that I said was, I've learned to be mindful of the conversations that I have with people, because if they know that I'm an empath, they know that I'm willing to listen, it's so easy for them to just explode and tell me everything about what they're going through, and I may not have the mental capacity to handle it. So the one thing that I've done, that I told them, that I know there's some people that they always get bad news, and I love them. I just know how to put those boundaries in place. So sometimes, not all the time, sometimes there's certain folks that I may not ask them, hey, how are you doing today? That's a question. And when you're asking a question, you're looking for a response. Instead, I would say, I hope and pray that you have a good day. That is a statement. I'm not asking for a response. You don't even have to respond to me. Just know that I hope that you have a great day. That's it. And I've learned how to articulate that in a way where I'm not getting a response, right? I've learned that just because someone is going through things, I don't have to help them if I don't want to, right? I don't have to do that. That's not my responsibility. And I want the one thing to understand about empaths is that when you are an empath and you're close to people, like, you feel exactly what they feel as if it happened to you. I had a friend that a family member died. They never told me. That's the crazy thing. They didn't tell me. I woke up in the morning and I was in so much pain and I didn't understand why. And I called my best friend. I said, hey, I think someone that's close to me, I think something happened. Somebody died. And I don't know who it is. But I feel that they're sad. And I don't know what to do. And so what I did was, after I realized that, hey, that I keep feeling this way, I prayed to God and said, God, release me from people. I don't want to be an empath. Release me for those people. And I don't want to take on their emotional baggage. I don't want to take that on. So release me from them. And let me feel the feelings for me. Like, let me feel my own feelings. Let me be in deep thought about those. That's it. That's it. And so I say that prayer when I feel something. And one of my girlfriends at my birthday brunch last year, she was like, I don't know what it is about you, Sakina, but when you reach out to me, it's like you know what I'm going through. And I had a friend recently that had a family member pass. And this person didn't say anything on social media at the time. Then I sent me a message. And I just said, I felt it. I was away in Virginia for a writing retreat. And being in the woods, being in the country had me in deep thought. And so I went to bed. And I could not go to bed at all. Like, I just could not go. And I read something. Like I was reading some scripture before I went to bed to try to ease my mind. And I woke up, I said, something happened. I didn't know what it was, but I said, something happened. And I reached out to this person. I said, hey, you're in my thoughts, and I hope that you're okay. And this person responded saying, I'm trying to remain strong. And that was the confirmation for me. And 2 days, in that same day, I found out that someone passed. I was okay with reaching out to this person because they don't do what's called emotional vomit. They don't just throw all their problems at me. But I just asked God, like, hey, release that. One of my girlfriends said, you're willing to listen to everybody else. Who do you have to listen to? Like, who listens to you? And I do have that person. And I tell my friends that I'm not this emotionally drained friend. I know how to control my emotions. There's times when I cry, but most times when I have issues, I talk to God first. Like, that is my source of strength and how to navigate through this world. And so when I have my friends, I'm not asking them to help me navigate. I get that from God. And when I talk to my friends, it's just a matter of comfort, not navigation, right? That's the difference. And so if I had something as like a taking point for this, is that to know that your feelings are important and you want to be mindful of the people that you are around, the people that are close to you. You want to make sure that you're protecting your own peace in your own space at all times. My pastor said something yesterday. He's on a series called It's a Trap, right? And not falling into temptation and not falling into things that can set you back, whatever that may be. And what he said was crucial. He said that when you tell people that you're suffering, right? You tell people this, that you're suffering. It's only a few that will be there for you. And I realized for most, when people are suffering, I am one of those people that's willing to help. And he said that, but when you die, right, your funeral, it's going to be so many people there to support you. So many people there to support you. And so it made me think, who are the people that I can call in times of need? Not financial need. I'm pretty straight with that. But who can I call in times of need, right? When I just need someone to vent to. And I started to think about this list. And I said, I will be that person where there's a few that I tell if I'm suffering. And it's only a few that I could tell because I trust them and I know that I can confide in them. And I know that they give me a safe space to express my emotions and my feelings and my thoughts. But at a funeral, it will be tons and tons of people there saying how great of a person that I am. How I wish that we had more time. And the things I've done for them and what I did for other people, right? I just started thinking about this, right? There's a few people that I can tell that I'm suffering. But at a funeral, it's going to be crowded, right? It may be a standing room only. And they're talking about how great I was, based on the time that they met me. If I was in, college or law school, she did all these things. And she was a great person. She looked out for people. She did all these, spectacular things. And so once my pastor said, when you are suffering, there's only a few that you could tell. There would be so many people at your funeral. And then the next thing I thought about was, who are the people that I want to do life with? Not my life partner. We're talking about, that's something different, right? That's something different. But the friends that I have, the people that I consider close, who can I do life with? Like friendships. And I prayed about it, and I realized I got them. And that's a great feeling to have. And my friends, they each serve a sole purpose in my life. We will never depart, right? My friends, I don't have to talk to them every single day. I don't talk to everybody every single day. Certain people. But sometimes the interactions may not be over the phone. I have one friend, we send memes to each other almost every single day. We can sit next to each other in a room. No one's talking. We'll look at each other and laugh. And people may think, we're talking about other people in the room. And we are not. We are just goofy. Just super goofy. That's me, because I'm a serious professional. Very serious. But when I'm not doing legal work, like, I'm a clown. And I like to roast people. That means to bust jokes on people. But I thought about it and said, you know what? Because I thought about one person, like, can this person be my life friend? Right? Can this person be the friend that I do life with? And I thought about it. It was two people. I thought about it. And I said no. We could be cool. But that's all that would happen. We could be cool. And I told my sword, I was like, the love that I gave everybody else, I'm giving that to myself 10 times. Like, not saying that I never loved myself, but I realized that when you are a kind person and you do look out for people and you are considerate of other people's feelings and just being overall just an amazing ass person, that some people can take advantage of that. Some people don't know what it's like when people treat them nice because they never had it. I know what it's like to treat people nice because people treat me nice. And I just looked at the people in my life and I was like, you know what? I found these life friendships. That's it. And I told my best friend yesterday, I was like telling her the names, and she's one of them. And I was like, y'all stuck with me forever. And one is on here now. One of my friends I'm going to do life with is Kim. Hey, Kim, we always say that we're lifers. And I told my best friend, Melissa, I was like, y'all not leaving me. The only way y'all leaving me is cassette clean. So the only way, if you're in a cassette, that's the only way that you're leaving and you're departing. You're gonna be nice, you're gonna be sharp, but yeah, that's about it. So just really having these emotional boundaries and understanding that, thank you, my skin is glowing. Listen, I'm just in a really happy place. No makeup at all. And I think as it relates to emotional boundaries is that I really had to come with terms to understand that some people are just emotionally unavailable. That could be anybody, right? And I realized to give those type of people just a bare minimum, right? Doesn't mean that I don't care. But if your emotions are not intact with your soul, it's not aligned, you're still, in my opinion, trying to figure out yourself, how to express yourself. And if I'm around people where they don't know how to express themselves and I can, there's a disconnect. And I realized to just let those people be. Don't try to question it. Don't try to wonder, like, how did this come about? Because, as a math person, if there's a problem, I want to understand the solution. I want to understand the different parts that allow us to get to this problem. And I realize that's not my battle. If you are someone that struggles with expressing your feelings, you're someone that struggles with interacting with people, if you are someone that struggles with letting your guard down, this could be for women and men. If you are a person that struggles with having good people in your life, I've learned to just give you just the bare minimum of time, the bare minimum of my emotions, the bare minimum of my thoughts, and less consideration. When my sorority sister, I was talking to my sorority sister about this whole thing about emotional intelligence or emotional boundaries. And I said, this may sound harsh, but I've learned not to care about certain people, certain things, because it's not my battle. And when I felt that way and I thought like that, it made things easier. Like, yeah, and I realized that when some people are going through these emotional wars, they put themselves through it. And I was like, if you put yourself through it, then you need to get yourself out. That's why we had therapy. And see, some people will use a term like, hey, I need to go. And we'll just never go. And so those people I'm mindful of, and I keep my distance somewhat, but just give them just a bare minimum. And therapy matters. It does. And I just hope that for the people that don't know how to implement emotional boundaries, I hope that you figure it out, because you'll be fighting everybody else's problems besides yours, or you'll just be putting everybody's problems before yours, and that's not mentally healthy. I tell people all the time, yeah, I'm assertive, but I've learned now that some battles I don't even need to fight, and there's some battles that my silence is the answer. It's really the answer. So I just hope that you know what to fight. I hope that you know that your feelings, they matter. Your thoughts, they matter. But most importantly and I thought that this was like cliche. This is my last thought. I was talking to someone, a childhood friend, and I called and said, hey, good afternoon. I hope that you're okay. And there was chuckles in the background. And this is not the first time that someone did this to me. And I was like, why are you laughing? And he was like, it's so funny, like you have all this energy. And I talked to one of my girlfriends before, and I called her in the morning. I was like, hey, good morning. How are you today? And she just laughed. And I was like, she's like, Sakina, it's not even like the afternoon. Like, why you have so much energy? But I read this post that said, when you meet positive people, they didn't wake up and decide to be positive. At one point in their life, they were going through hell, and they made a decision not to revisit. And so you meet me now, and you see that I'm chipper. You see that I'm happy. It doesn't mean that my life is all together and I have everything going right with myself. But I remember being in a dark place at one point in my life, where when I will talk to people, people will ask me what's wrong. And now people are asking me, why are you so happy? I'd rather you ask me why I'm so happy compared to what's wrong, right? The narrative has changed because I just made a decision that I wanted better. And that comes from years of self-reflection. If you met me in college, I'm totally different. I still have the same mindset, like I'm a go-getter and I want great things for my life. But as far as my outlook, and then going to therapy to heal about things and making the conscious decision to heal on a consistent basis, because healing is not linear. It makes sense that I'm happy. It makes sense that when you call me and I say good morning and I have this chipper energy, it took so long to get there. And if you're a person that's not happy when you wake up, if you're a person that's just not happy by just existing, I hope and pray that you look yourself in the mirror and think about all the great things and think about why you matter. There's people that don't even know why they matter. There's people out there that's thinking about taking their own life because they don't want to exist. And for me, I'm happy that I exist. I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I'm in this moment. I'm happy that I am at not a job, but I'm in a career that I actually love. I do work on Friday nights because I love it. And so I just want you to just look at all these things, because how you feel on the inside, it reflects on the outside. People have been telling me that, Sakina, your skin is glowing. I don't have no makeup on. This is what I look like when I wake up. I don't have no filter on this video. This is exactly me. And I realized that when my skin is glowing, my hair needs to be done. You gotta excuse me. It is kind of growing out. I think I want to grow it out. I'm not sure, but I definitely need my haircut. But when my skin is glowing, that means that I feel freaking amazing in the inside. And I want it this way, right? And so the summer, I want to say the spring, one, I had a trainer to lose weight. I lost like over 20 pounds. I need to make sure I stay in shape because the holidays are approaching. I don't want to be a big girl. Getting a trainer changed everything. I started thinking about things that really matter to me, right? Just started thinking about things that really matter to me. Really focusing on like me. Like I had this idea of, hey, you know, I like my body. I want my body to look like this. And I told my trainer, I was like, I want someone to look at me and say, girl, who did your BBL? I don't have one, but I just wanted that. That was the image that I wanted for myself. I wanted a flatter stomach. I wanted more muscles in my legs. I had this idea. I was able to eat right, and I was able to almost get there. I'm not almost there. Almost get that idea image of what I wanted. So I started working out more. Definitely prayer was needed. Going into my prayer closet. Forgiveness. Like, it's one thing to say that you forgive people, but God said when you say you forgive people, you try your best to avoid them. But forgiveness, when you're able to see them in person and still wish them the best and not think about all the things they've done to you. That happened to me this year, and I can tell you that shit is not easy. That's not. I kept thinking about ways to avoid a certain person. Like, hey, I'm going to just make sure that I don't go to this event because I know they're going to be there. Or how would I feel if I run into them? I was like, God, how would my heart feel if I run into this person? How would my heart feel? Like, what do I say? What do I do? Because I don't know. Because most people, if I walk away, I don't see him. And if I do see him, it's like years and I just forgot about it. But this one was fresh. And God said, you know how to forgive. The first people you forgave was your parents. But I'm going to teach you how to forgive everybody else that's around you. And that happened, and it caught me by surprise this year. And I was like, okay. And I realized I can forgive. But the first person I had to forgive was myself, right? It's easy to say this person did all these things, but I had to take my own fault in things and say, what did I contribute to this pain that I had felt? And that was like one of the biggest lessons for me. My skin was glowing in the spring. But it started to glow even more once I realized that forgiveness is just not just saying it, but it's actually acting. And I can tell you that I forgive you, but when I see you, how would I react? And I realized that I did. And once I figured that out, I was like, you know what? I got that. I need to actually reach out to my therapist. I was slacking because I had new insurance. But I'm going to tell her that. She's going to be happy. She tried to break up with me all the time. But I'm like, look, I told you that I'm trying to break generational curses. So we're going to have to talk, on a quarterly basis. Like, yeah, I'm going to just give you an update, let you know what's going on. And I'm going to tell you where people have me fucked up at. But everything's cool. Everything's great. But that's all that I have. And I hope and I pray, honestly, that this message really helps you to, one, really have emotional boundaries. And it's okay to tell someone, no, I can't take your call today. It's okay to avoid that text message that that this person is just like emotionally all over the place. And even though you want to help, you don't have to help everybody. I hope that you find the friends that you're going to do life with. Friendships are important to me. And I hope that you found those friends. Now it's cool to have good friends. I got friends for different purposes. But my life friends, my friends I'm going to do life with, they're stuck in my life forever. I hope that you find it. I hope that you realize that you are amazing and your existence in this world, it matters. This is a time where people are getting ready for the holidays, and some people are still trying to accept things, whether it's accept a death, whether it is to accept grieving over someone, whether it's losing a friendship, losing a romantic relationship. Holidays are hard. And I just hope and pray that you look in the mirror and realize that you really matter. Like, you really matter. And I say that all the time. It sounds cliche, but there's some people that think they don't matter. There's some people that still trying to look in the mirror and love the person that they see. And I just hope that one day you have the courage to do that. It is Monday, so I like to shout out to all the dope men out there. You are amazing. You are great. You are phenomenal. And I hope and pray that you get the reassurance that you need, because you need it. Black men are needed. I don't care what statistics show us. I don't care what other people say. I don't care what bitter women say. You are needed. You are needed in our schools. You are needed in our medical fields. You are needed in the legal profession. You are needed in the household. You are needed as a partner. You are needed as a friend. And if anybody didn't tell you, know that you matter and know that you are needed. That's all that I have. And I hope that you're well. I went over 5 minutes because I need to start writing and researching, but that's all I wanted to say. Have a phenomenal week. Take care.